Hidden in dusty museum basements and neglected cuneiform tablets lies a mystery that could rewrite human history. It's called the Sumerian King List, an ancient document inscribed thousands of years ago found in the ruins of Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. At first glance it looks like a historical record, a list of kings, dynasties, and the number of years they ruled, but then, things get strange. According to the text, the earliest kings didn't rule for decades or even centuries, they ruled for thousands of years. One king, Alulim, is said to have reigned for 28,800 years. Another, Enmenluana, supposedly ruled for 43,200 years. And this isn't from a fringe source, it's been studied by serious historians and archaeologists for over a century. So how do we explain that? Mainstream scholars often say these numbers are symbolic or mythical, but the list itself says otherwise. It clearly separates the pre-flood kings from those who ruled after a great deluge, one that closely resembles the story of Noah's flood. The text reads, "After the kingship descended from heaven it was in Eridu. And later, then the flood swept over. After the flood had swept over, the kingship descended again." That line, "kingship descended from heaven," appears more than once. It suggests that rulership or perhaps knowledge came from above. Could it mean divine right or something else? Here's where it gets even more interesting. Many ancient cultures speak of a catastrophic flood. From the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia to the Bible to Hindu, Greek, and Native American traditions, the flood story is nearly universal. Why would civilizations on opposite sides of the world all share the same myth, unless it was based on a real event? Geological evidence shows that massive flooding did occur around 11,000 to 12,000 years ago, possibly linked to the melting of glaciers after the last ice age. That matches the supposed reset in the Sumerian King List. And what comes after the flood? The reign of kings with realistic lifespans, just a few decades long. So the document seems to be split into two timelines. Before the flood, when kings ruled for thousands of years, and after the flood, when human civilization became more like what we recognize today. Could this be a record of a forgotten pre-flood civilization? And if so, who were these ancient kings? Were they just symbolic, gods, or perhaps advanced beings with knowledge beyond our own? Let's consider this. The ancient Sumerians, 5,000 years ago, already knew about the planets in our solar system, including ones invisible to the naked eye. Their star maps showed Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, long before telescopes were invented. They also understood advanced mathematics, metallurgy, irrigation systems, and even medical procedures. This was not a primitive culture fumbling through the dark. This was a highly advanced society. They claimed their knowledge came from the Anunnaki, sky beings who came from the stars. Many historians interpret these as gods, but some researchers wonder, were the Anunnaki something more literal? Ancient astronaut theories aside, one thing is clear. The Sumerian King List is not just mythology. It's a carefully structured record, combining impossible reigns, real cities, and confirmed historical rulers into one document. Even major universities and museums have admitted, we still don't fully understand why the ancient scribes wrote it this way. It blends the mythical with the historical, but not randomly. It follows a specific order, and it ends with kings we know actually existed, like Gilgamesh, the legendary king of Uruk. That's the same Gilgamesh featured in the earliest known piece of literature, the Epic of Gilgamesh, which also includes a flood story eerily similar to the Bible. So what are we looking at? A myth? A misunderstood allegory? Or the last surviving record of a civilization lost to time? The truth may lie somewhere in between. We now know that the rise of human civilization wasn't as linear as we once thought. New discoveries keep pushing our timeline further and further back. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, for example, is over 11,000 years old, twice as old as the pyramids, with precise stone carvings and astronomical alignments. No one knows who built it, or why. Could it be part of the same forgotten era described in the King List? A pre-flood world wiped out by cataclysm, leaving behind only fragments, legends, and records carved into stone? We may never know the full story, but the Sumerian King List stands as a haunting reminder that history as we know it might only be the tip of a much older, much deeper iceberg. Thanks for watching. If this video made you question the official timeline, leave a like and subscribe for more ancient mysteries and forbidden history.